Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope you're all having a fantastic day. We are officially halfway through the year 2022. So, what I wanted to do is take a quick look back over the last 7 months, and really let you know of my biggest mistake that I've made so far in wax over the last 7 months. I've obviously been with wax longer than that, but this mistake spans about that amount of period. Um, I'm not going to name any names or not going to name any projects, because I think if you've been listening to my videos over the last couple months, you'll know which project I'm referring to, but I don't want to call anyone out specifically on this one. What I want to do is I want to do some takeaways, what I've learned over the last 7 months, 6, 7 months, we'll say that. Hopefully that'll help you when you go through the process of picking out a new project or when you're reevaluating the current projects that you're in. These are things that I did not even consider uh, back at the beginning of the year. These are things that I thought basically a project that has a great concept is going to soar, and I'm going to make tons of coin. That usual approach that newer people in the play to earn space take, especially on the wax side. So again, this is more of a reference in hopes that you learn from my mistakes, so you don't make them in your gameplay. We'll say that. Um, I thankfully I've made a lot more good decisions than bad ones, but this is by far the biggest mistake that I've done on wax so far. Before I really jump into the details, let's go ahead and do the normal disclaimer. Just because I say something on a video, do not take it as financial advice. Please make sure you do your own research. I am not a financial advisor. Make sure you make decisions that are right for you. If you happen to see a game that has one of these red flags, but you truly believe in it for many other reasons, make your own decision as far as whether you want to jump into it or not. Don't take this as the gospel. It's just what I personally look at now when I'm taking a look at games. All right, let's go ahead and dive into it. The first thing that you want to take a look at is the gameplay and the overall concept. But the one thing that I have to stress is the fact that the gameplay and concept of the game should not be the number one trumping thing. If it has a good concept, it's going to succeed no matter what. Most games on Wax, you can take a look at them, and within 5 minutes, you know that it is either going to be relatively successful or it's going to be a quick click to earn burn, that's going here in a few months. Thankfully, there's a lot more games on Wax that are coming out here recently that focusing more on the long term, more the gameplay, more of the player side of things. And there's still a lot of those click earns that are here for the initial sale and then are going to run. But what I wanted to stress in this one was the fact that the game that I'm referring to is without a doubt, from my personal opinion, a top three concept on Lex. This is something that if they put in the other elements, no brainer success. I would be all into this. In fact, at one point, I was all into this. So, so I just want to make sure you understand that just because it has that does not mean it's going to succeed. So take a look at more than just the concept itself. And sadly, as I was just about to switch to the next screen, I noticed my typo. So I'm sure there's a few of you that saw my misspelling of a guarantee there. I didn't even take another look at it. And again, I've been staring at this for the last few minutes and I didn't even see that typo till I'm about to switch over. So I apologize for those grammar people out there that they're going to hammer me on that, but that's part of the fun. All right, the next one is lack of communication. This is something that was so underrated, in my opinion, personal opinion. From when I looked at games, I never, ever, ever looked at the communication early this year. Um, Again, I focused more on the concept and how that was going to play out. I never really focused on the communication. Now, communication within the Discord and just in general is one of my top three things that I look at when I'm looking at a new project. If the project team does not communicate, there's going to be issues down the road. Can almost guarantee it. There's a few exceptions, but specifically in this one, initially they communicated okay. It was the occasional communication. But then over the last few months, it was non-existent, and when they communicated, it was confusing, which frustrated a lot of players, including myself. And I think I was probably one of the more vocal ones as far as the communication goes. There are projects out there like Castles, like Waxel World, like Farming Tales, and many other blockchain brawlers is out there, Million on Mars. Projects like that have tremendous, tremendous communication. They are always in the Discord. They are always talking with you. They're doing events, they're doing AMA sessions. They are constantly involved in the player community. Those are going to be more successful than those that completely disappear. And there's a lot of times they disappear from communication. One, it could be a language barrier. Completely understand that. If that's the case, get a mod or hire someone that's in the loop on the game and can communicate well. Two, it's they just don't see the reason for it. So there's that they just may not be interested in communicating with you at all. And three, they're hiding something. Um, I'm going to call this one out because this is something that everybody's aware of. Farming Tales is a good example. They would put out those generic monthly communications, and you would never hear from them again. And we see what happened with that. So I'm not saying this specific game is a Farming Tale or Farmer's World. Farmer's World's the bad one. Farming Tale's the good one. Throwing that out there, but not saying that this game that I'm specifically talking about is a Farm World. Yeah, don't even like saying it. That type of situation, but there's a clear lack of communication, and it has destroyed the project. Next is marketing. Oh, I know we don't like to talk about marketing as players, but marketing absolutely matters when it comes to a project. Um, and this is not just for me because I talk about all sorts of games and I talk quite frequently with project owners, but marketing matters. If your project does not market well or market at all, it will not bring in new players. New players are needed to grow. New players are needed for consistent um, supply and demand. It's a critical part that no one really likes to talk about because it can be a little bit of a scummier side. Some projects do. They try and do some shady uh, marketing techniques, promising ROIs, guaranteeing certain things. But most projects out there that are doing well with the marketing, uh, that you can see by they have a constant inflow of new players. And when they bring in new players, they know how to treat the new players when they come in there. So if your project that you're looking at is doing a good job of honest marketing, that's a plus, something you should always just take a look at. And you have to look at the different phases of the project because when they first come out, there's a chance that they may not market right away, or may not market very strongly. But as they're getting closer to launch, as they're really trying to pull in the players, get them excited about it, there's got to be some kind of marketing involved. So take a look at that. And then last but not least, is the team. The team itself matters a lot. There are so many projects on Wax where the team is anonymous, and you know that's fine if they want to do that. But I'm looking at projects where the team is front and center, where the team is communicating with people. They're either doing videos or they're in the Discord or they're talking to each other. Just some form of communication. And again, this goes back to communication, but another part of the team that matters is if you see the team and there's people from the team that continue to disappear and are either whether it's announced that they've been released or they've left, that's a sign. It's a sign you should look out for. If it has a core team of 5 or 6 players and the next day you only see 3 players. I'm sorry, I keep saying players, but product team members, developers. You only see 3 of them, and you never hear from those other 3. There's a problem with the project team. Not only is there some disgruntledness within the team itself, but there's also probably going to be some changes, or maybe that the people that left uh, had a certain skill set that the current team doesn't have anymore. So the team matters. Now, if it's one person occasionally doesn't have a big role in the in the project, that's one thing. But if it's the core team that's involved in the project, that's something you should watch out for. Again, these are all just red flags that I wanted to make you aware of. They just happen to all be in one project that I was very high on at the beginning of the year, and has not just from my perspective, but from a lot of people's perspective, has been thrown aside. Whether it's uh, communication issues, whether it's they shut down for a little bit, and they don't keep up with their development. There's a lot of different reasons, but these are some of the big red flags that I didn't think of at the beginning of the year that are forefront of my thoughts when I'm looking at a project. So I hope you take something good away from this. I hope you look at these items when you're looking at a new project that you're looking to jump into. Again, it's not the end all be all list. It's just the example list that I got from this specific project. That's my biggest mistake, that I've lost quite a bit of money crypto from this year. Again, thankfully, I've made more positive decisions throughout the year. This is just the biggest one I wanted to highlight. What I wanted to throw out there also is I am getting very, very close to 1,000 subscribers. I think we are less than 20 away. I think we were at 19 when I checked before I started recording this video. If you haven't subscribed yet, please jump down there and subscribe. I'm really pushing to get to 1,000. We're going to try and do a bunch of giveaways when we get to that point. I'm super excited to get close to that. So those of you that have subscribed, thank you very much. Those of you that haven't, please. All right, I'll talk to you all tomorrow. Bye.